Hi, it's Mark. Welcome to my final video from AIDS 2016 in Durban, South Africa. You know what you don't have enough of? You don't have enough of the global village and the sights and sounds there, as well as the amazing people. Let's really get in there and show you some of the excitement and feature some of the work being done from people around the world. I also have an interview with my mystery cameraman, as well as some interesting people from Amsterdam who will be hosting the next conference. So we have a lot to do. Let's get busy.
It's Mark S. King from My Fabulous Disease, reporting from AIDS 2016, sponsored by the Global Forum of MSM and HIV, and the complete HIV resource, thebody.com, with thanks to Queerty.com. It's AIDS 2016 in Durban, South Africa.
So this is a library of people's experiences, disclosing their status, whether it's to a family member, someone you meet online, the community, and ultimately it's peer education. It has been a humbling experience, extremely informative experience, and yeah, it's really kind of changed the way I see the world.
Even across the world, so it shouldn't be that difficult for everybody to understand that sex workers sell sex in order to have a living. That they do so because it's their best option, they do so because they choose to do sex work. It is work. It's a livelihood. And nobody has the right to tell anybody what to do with their body.
I couldn't help but notice your program over there and your presentation. What is it about?
Well, it's about a testing campaign to encourage gay guys and raise awareness of the importance of HIV testing.
Yes.
So, and we want it to be like very, sex positive, sexy, no shaming, no preaching, but being honest with the community, tell them what they need to know, and also support them, enjoy sex, but also get protection.
When we met in Melbourne, and you were my cameraman 2 years ago, you had just recently started to come out about being HIV positive, and this has been a real journey for you.
Yeah, I would probably say that everything just started falling into place afterwards. Not necessarily for the better either. I was openly outed on Facebook about my HIV status, which then trickled onto my family. So
that's how they found out?
Yeah, and then that led towards national TV where I talked about my HIV status and getting my power back of my disclosure. Someone's taken that power away from me, so I have to try and shift that in a way where I can use it to my strength.
Most of the grandmothers that are taking care of the grandchildren, their parents have passed on. They are the only ones that are now bringing up these children. And so, that even the generation gap between the grandmothers and the children, because there is a gap that is in between, that has gone lost.
Yeah. They've been lost to AIDS.
Yes, lost to AIDS. But now, the grandmothers, since they are there, they've been doing this work and they've been strong about it. But now, they can't do that alone. They also need support from other people to be able to, because these grandchildren are the nation of tomorrow. And if they're not taken care of, we don't have a nation tomorrow.
People living with HIV are being sold a fairy story. They're being sold a fairy story about the fact that they're going to put all these things in place. But who is going to end up doing the work? The people who are going to end up doing the work are the same people who did it in the very beginning. People living with HIV. Who's going to keep people on treatment after 6 months? It's not going to be WHO. They only track people for 6 months. It's going to be us, as usual, tell people how to stay on treatment, to stay healthy, and all the rest of it.
As Uganda Harm Reduction Network, we use a public health and human rights approach to make sure that drug users access the services to reduce the prevalence of HIV among people who inject drugs.
So I'm here with a bunch of youth from around Durban. Hello!
Hey! So we actually learned more stuff. It's very enjoyable. We met new people. We met new delegates, people from other countries. I mean, like, we associated with them. So it's awesome. So we're having a great time.
There wasn't some big scientific breakthrough this time. There's much more suggestions. In terms of like what's being done about the stuff we already know, I'm just writing up about the PrEP implementation, programs being started in Australia, South Africa, Kenya. You know, it's starting to happen. Obviously, France is already happening. So it's starting to happen in other parts of the world. That's great.
We're just trying to make condoms fun, get people used to being around condoms, and get everybody involved. Because, you know, from a young age, people are supposed to be using condoms. So we're trying to raise that awareness.
When people try to forget to use a condom, I just pop in.
Oh, you do?
What are you doing?
That's your conscience coming in. What are you doing?
That's a visual image I will have for a while. Is your organization ready for all of the HIV positive people that will be streaming into Amsterdam?
We are working very hard to get ready to all those people, to welcome them, to make sure that you have a good time in Amsterdam.
And we're very proud that we're one of the countries that has no restrictions. So sex workers are free to come to Amsterdam. People who use drugs are free to come to Amsterdam. There's no visa issues like in many other countries.
I think most importantly for us is to try and scale up the attention for stigma and self-stigma, because there was a little too few on it on this conference.
Yes.
So we try to do more on stigma.
Having the sex workers, the trans folks, the women's movement, the gay men, all these movements together in one space, having a good time and really like letting loose.
Meanwhile, back in the global village.
Just some final thoughts about being at AIDS 2016. First of all, my enormous privilege as a white gay man living in the United States, and how much more resources I have where I live than do most of the people that you've met here in my AIDS 2016 videos. I've also talked to a lot of people that say, what the hell is going on in your country? They're catching glimpses of the Republican National Convention and the exclusion of so many people. And it's actually very difficult to respond to that, other than to say there's so many of us who are working to change things and to actually be inclusive. So I feel like a grateful man today. I also miss my husband, Michael, very much. I love you, Michael. And to everyone else, thank you for watching my videos from AIDS 2016. And please, be well.